everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for joining me. Today I'm going to go over some interesting UFO stuff that's going on in the world. Not only what's going on, but mostly what I've been able to capture on my phone, in person, what I've seen. I'll give you some stories, some videos, some pictures of stuff that's never seen before. My own personal videos and pictures that I'll be able to share to you and will be out for the first time to the public. Um, give you my experiences and what I know is going to be coming and what I know to be true as the Lord has pulled me out of the darkness and into the light and shown me what all this stuff is. And I've been doing this stuff since I was a little kid, very avid UFO hunter, and it's been my life since I can remember. And so I want to go over with you guys what I've been through and what I have, and hopefully you guys enjoy it. But first, I'm just going to say a quick prayer to get into it, and then we'll go ahead and start. Dear Heavenly Father, please be with everyone right now as the world gets crazy, as things start to get intense and really bad as far as everything's going on right now. And I pray you just be with everybody, protect them, keep them healthy and safe and guided, and do your work in them, Lord. Show them the truth that they need to come to you and know you and love you, and to not be deceived by the higher powers that are going to be trying to deceive them, Lord, in the spiritual battle that we're in right now. Help them to fight that and be able to win with you and through you. I pray you just be with us as we go about this video, and send your Holy Spirit to guide me and everyone watching, Lord. Thank you. In Jesus Christ's name I pray. Amen. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. First thing I want to do, though, is start you off with what's been happening like recently. Um, I think you guys all know about the Three Eye Atlas, the so-called comet slash UFO, hostile UFO that's headed this way, that will be here in November. If you haven't heard about that, it's pretty interesting. They're saying that there's a comet-like craft or a rock headed this way that's emitting light and is doing weird things, and the alignment that it has is very unusual. If you want to check out my previous video on the UFO Three Eye Atlas, I suggest you go check that one out. But I'm not going to get too far into that one because I'm going to let somebody else talk to you a little bit about it. She claims to be in contact with these aliens that are here already, who are sitting in motherships around the world and waiting for the right time to show themselves. She claims that they're having a hard time doing that, and that Three Eye Atlas will help them do that as soon as it reaches here. And I'm going to let you see her video. Her name is Emily Eaton, and she's a pretty interesting character, so let's go ahead and check her out.
Today is September 6th, and I have another message from the aliens. I'm an interdimensional communicator, and yesterday I was doing a live session in my community, and we got this huge download about the Anunnaki and alien lineages and cosmic battles, and we almost ran out of time, but we did get an alien update about the motherships and Three Eye Atlas right at the end. And again, Three Eye Atlas is the interstellar object that NASA is still calling a comet, but my sources call it an alien spacecraft, which is not to be confused with the motherships, which I've been talking about all year. And none of them are hostile, and none of them are going to land on Earth, at least not anytime soon. And all of them are coming to help us. The motherships have attempted to come into their full density 3 times so far this year, first in January, then March, then June. And the aliens tell me that they learned a lot from those 3 attempts about us and about themselves, and they sent Three Eye Atlas in response. Not to come to Earth, but to stay opposite the sun from us, to provide a counterbalance to the motherships that are in position near Earth. The motherships are trying to come into full density without causing like major weather events and other problems, and Three Eye Atlas is going to help them do that as the counterbalance. So in this next clip, you're going to see me using dowsing rods. They'll be touching my neck, which means the aliens were confirming the channeled information as I was sharing it. Here's today's alien update. So the motherships are very close to becoming fully visible, close to Earth. Those are the ones who are going to be above oceans and mountains. Those are the motherships. The last step that they're waiting for is for 3i Atlas to get somewhat closer to the sun. I don't know, they're not specific with me, but the closer 3i Atlas gets to the sun, the more the motherships can come into our density. And the reason that that is 3i Atlas is, first of all, again, not a comet, correct? They call it a spacecraft. They show me images of rows of aliens on the inside who are telepathically powering the ship and working with our energies. They are telepathically connecting with us if we choose to, if we invite them in. The reason that they are doing that is because they are elevating our frequency as individuals, as humanity, as a collective, and as a planet. So as 3i Atlas comes in on the opposite side of the sun, that supports the motherships coming in close to Earth. We're not going to see 3i Atlas with our eyeballs, but we will see the motherships. Yes. They're coming as fast as they can. They're coming to help us. They're coming to reveal truths that have been hidden from us for generations. They're coming to give us gifts, like our own inner gifts, like the one that was given to me that lets me do this. They're coming to give us gifts in the longer term, like free energy and support with health and curing diseases. So all of that is just some examples of how much we have to look forward to. Change is coming, and it's so exciting. There's so much joy on the other side of the major changes that are right around the corner. So there you go. Major changes are right around the corner. Again, not because the aliens are going to come and land on Earth anytime soon, but because they're going to be in the sky and they're going to help us through technology and telepathy. If you're a subscriber on TikTok, be sure to catch both parts of the replay that I posted late yesterday, especially part 2 at the end, where you're going to get a few more details than I just shared here. And our monthly meditation is now available on Zoom, so be sure to find the pinned post for those details. And of course, I'll be right back here the next time they give me another message from the aliens.
Now, if I was who I was before, that stuff would probably resonate with me. But now that I am who I am now because of the Lord, uh, I know what is happening to her. She's being deceived by demons. She's talking to demons. They're telling her interesting stories to deceive her and whoever will listen to her. And there's a lot going to be going on. People are going to be so confused by everything that's happening that they're going to be looking left and things are going to be happening to their right and vice versa. So much stuff is going to be happening. We won't know what is going on. We'll be so confused, and a lot of people will be in terror for what's to come. And it's even talked about in the Bible. I'll give you some of those texts here in a little bit. But first, I want to start showing you some stuff that I grew up with. Some things that I've seen over the years, and give you my story on what I've experienced. Um, I've seen this stuff since I was a little kid. I've been watching for UFOs since I was with my grandma in the backyard, looking up in the sky as a little boy, and we would UFO hunt and look for things and see if we couldn't find something almost every night. We would go out and stargaze and look for UFOs. And we saw some interesting things then. We used to watch weird alien videos and UFO videos on TV, and it was a big part of my life and her life. She got me into this stuff, and ever since then, I've been down that rabbit hole, just looking for UFOs and alien stuff everywhere I could find it. And I found some pretty interesting things. I started following some interesting people. Um, when I got to be in my early 20s, late teens, I started following Dr. Stephen Greer and what he was doing. That led me to almost do his CE5 stuff that he has recently been trying to tell people that he can communicate with aliens and basically telepathically communicate and bring aliens to appear whenever they're out in like a field or on a ship or on the ocean or whatever. They're basically praying, meditating to these things to appear. There's an app he has out there. I downloaded the app. You have to pay $10 to get it. You sign up for it. It tells you how to do all the CE5 stuff to summon these UFOs and aliens to you. I was all about it. Me and my girlfriend at the time, we were really excited to start doing this stuff. She actually attempted to do some of the techniques. I would say that I really didn't try any of the techniques. I vaguely did it. Um, and I know why now, because if I would have actually done it and if I would have really got into that, I would have been deceived like everyone else that's doing it. Because they are summoning UFOs and they are summoning aliens, and it's really interesting uh, to see what I could have been like instead of now. And I just got to thank the Lord that He pulled me out of there and He kept me. He literally kept me from doing that. I believe. Looking back on it now, He stopped that from happening, and so that I didn't go down that rabbit hole because He had bigger things planned for me, and this is one of them, to spread this truth to the world so that they wouldn't be deceived by what's coming. And so I just want to share with you all that. I've been following like George Knapp, Jeremy Corbell, uh, many others in the UFO community. Giorgio Tsoukalos. I watched a lot of Ancient Aliens. That was my favorite show on TV on the History Channel. That was probably my favorite thing to watch. It's very convincing. It's really convincing. Satan's had thousands of years to get this story right and to do his work. He knows us better than we know ourselves. He knows how to deceive us, and he's been working on it. He's got it perfected to the point where when it really happens and things start showing up to the masses, to the world, everyone will be deceived. Everyone will fall for what's coming, and that's why I'm here to tell you right now that we need not to pay any attention to what's coming, and when we see it, to not look at it, to run the other way. Basically, it's not for us. The next thing I want to show you now is the UAP hearings that they had in Congress. Just a couple days ago, they did a hearing where a bunch of people came forward and gave evidence and testimony of what they've seen and what they've heard and what they know. I want to jump right into that and show you what they talked about. So let's get into that.
Today, I want to state clearly that this is not science fiction or creating speculation. This is about national security, government accountability, and the American people's right to the truth.
This was taken October 30th of 2024. This video is of an MQ-9 drone tracking an orb, or this object, off the coast of Yemen. You'll see that another MQ-9 launched a Hellfire missile. That you cannot see that drone.
Are you aware of anything in the government, United States government arsenal that can split a Hellfire missile like this?
No.
And do whatever blob thing it did and then keep going? Nothing?
Nothing.
All right, how about you, Chief Wiggins?
Nothing to my knowledge, ma'am.
Okay, and how about you, Mr. Borland?
I'd prefer to answer that in a skiff.
I have heard about events like this. I have heard about this event. Jeremy Corbell and I talked about it in one of our episodes a while back. We did not have the video, though. There are servers where there's a whole bank of these kind of videos that Congress has not been allowed to see, that the public hasn't been allowed to see. Occasionally, some of that stuff gets out in the wild and it comes our way. It should be going to you. The public should be seeing this stuff. And why you're not allowed to, I don't know. But that's a Hellfire missile smacking into that UFO and just bounced right off. And it kept going.
It kept going, and it looks like the debris was taken with it.
Yeah. What the hell is that? The public has been told over and over since the late 40s, there's nothing to worry about here. These mysterious craft seen by millions of people in the skies, in the oceans, over the land, are not real. They're not a threat. The witnesses are wrong. They're crackpots. don't believe it. That changed for me. What got me hooked is the paper trail. Documents that were squeezed out of the U.S. government after the FOIA, Freedom of Information Act, became the law of the land. And those documents paint a much different picture than what the public, the press, and Congress have been told over many years. The documents from military and intelligence personnel behind closed doors admit that, quote, these things are real. They're not fictitious. They can fly in formation. They're evasive, and they outperform any aircraft known to exist, including ours. The public, of course, as I said, has been told something much different. You know, back in 1989, I reported about a guy named Bob Lazar, who claimed that he worked at a facility dubbed S4 out in the Nevada desert, very near to Area 51. He said he was part of a reverse engineering program. He said there are alien craft that will be taken apart to figure out how they operated out there. It's been widely reported and suspected that Lockheed Martin is one of the contractors, the defense contractors, that has held this stuff, stored it away in secrecy, and tried to figure out how it works. We had managed to get inside of it. It had no wings, no rotor, no tail. It had no fuel tanks. They didn't know how it flew or how it was operated. It clearly looked like it was aerodynamic. It's not ours. It wasn't ours. We didn't make it. We didn't know who made it and how it was built and how it operated. A lot of this stuff has been moved out of government. Sure. As you know, Rep. Burchett, it's been given to private contractors who stashed it away. They've had it for so long that there's nobody left inside government, or very few, who know where it is.
And they do that to keep us from FOIA, correct?
Yeah, it's to keep it from FOIA. And I think that the contractors who've had this stuff for a very long time set their own standards about who is allowed to know what. And it's a very small group that ever cracks that. There was an incident in October of 1982 over at ICBM base where UFOs popped up, was observed over this base where the missiles are pointed at us, United States. These UFOs perform incredible maneuvers. They split apart. They fuse back together. They'd appear and disappear. And right at the end of this 4-hour period, the launch control codes for the ICBMs lit up. Something entered the correct codes. The missiles were fired up and ready to launch, and they could not shut it down. The Russian officers were panicking. The UFOs they disappeared. The launch control system goes back to normal. Colonel Sokolov and his team came in, took the thing apart, could not figure out what it was. It wasn't a power surge or EMPs or some of the baloney excuses that our country has given for similar events involving our nuclear missiles. They thought it was a message from wherever the UFOs were from. And that's a chilling thing. I mean, we were a couple of seconds away from World War III starting, and the UFOs were responsible for it.
Between 2003 and 2005, 5 UAP incidents occurred at Vandenberg Air Force Base, home to the National Missile Defense Project, a top national security priority. At the time, we were conducting launches deemed by the National Reconnaissance Office as the most important in 25 years. The incursions began on October 14, 2003, when Boeing contractors reported a massive glowing red square silently hovering over 2 missile defense sites. After several minutes, it drifted further east onto the base and vanished over the hills. This event, now known as the Vandenberg Red Square, was referenced by Representative Luna at the first hearing on this topic. Official Air Force records of this event are in possession by Aero and the FBI. Later that night, while I was on duty, security guards at a critical launch site reported a bright, fast-moving object over the ocean. I responded to the incident. Chaos ensued over the radio as the object approached rapidly. I heard my friends screaming, "It's coming right at us, it's coming right for us, and now it's right here." Moments later, I heard them say that it had shot off and was gone. When I arrived on scene, I talked to 5 shaken witnesses who described a massive triangular craft larger than a football field that hovered silently for about 45 seconds over their entry control point before shooting away at impossible speed. The witnesses to this event were threatened and intimidated afterward.
On the base, I lived in the barracks. There was a little smoke pit outside. I was there on the telephone and looking across to the flight line, and I see a white light pop up and stop about 100 feet in the air. I thought it was a weather balloon. The light then flies across the base, across the flight line, and as it flies to me, a triangle manifests around the light. I can't tell you if it's active camouflage. I can't tell you if it appeared around the light, but I can tell you that it was a white light and then it was a triangle. It stopped about 100 feet in front of me and approximately 100 feet above me. My telephone got extremely hot, completely froze, dead. I remember how thick it was. It was between 1 to 2 stories thick, equilateral triangle. I could never see the top of it, and the edges were 90 degrees. There were 4 lights in total, 1 light on each corner and a larger light in the center, 2 to 3 times the size of the corner lights. But what was really odd was the outside. The best way to describe it is like looking at a James Webb telescope picture where you have the colors and then the black background. So the craft itself was this black metallic flake paint, but on top of the craft was this gold, lava, plasma, some type of fluid going over and around the craft. I'm under this for about 2 to 3 minutes, and then the center light flashes 2 to 3 times, no sound, immediately shoots up to commercial jet level minimum, in my opinion. And I immediately feel static electricity all over my body. And then I smell the smell of after a thunderstorm or lightning storm, that really strong summer thunderstorm smell.
And do you think that, in your opinion, that the equilateral triangle was the U.S. government's technology?
I did once upon a time, but knowing what I know now, I'll have to answer that question in a skiff probably.
Well, my next question is, you teased us, so knowing what you know now means what?
I know enough to know that if you want an answer to that question, go to Arrow. They have the answer.
Do you think it was a foreign government?
I do not.
Are you scared for your safety?
That's a complicated question. So being here today, if I say the wrong word, technically I can be charged with espionage. Espionage is a death penalty. Whistleblowers have faced it. John Kiriakou, for example. I am not scared for my physical safety in the sense of a agency or company coming to kill me, but I have no job. My career has been tarnished. You know, I'm unemployed, living off of unemployment for the next 3-4 weeks until that's gone. So it's a complicated question.
Have there been stories leaked about your life to try to discredit you in the public eye?
As of now, I don't know.
We know they did that to Mr. Grush.
I am aware. Yes, ma'am.
Even when we're reviewing the budget, we go into a skiff, we look at DoD budget and the budget of like black box programs, and we don't know what we're looking at because we don't know what these programs are. Is it a way for the government to hide from Congress what's really going on and where the money's going?
In my opinion, absolutely, yes.
Is base systems involved in any way with reverse engineering exploitation of non-human intelligence craft?
Yeah, we're gonna have to have a conversation this skiff for that. Whether I'm legally even allowed to answer that, and whether you're even allowed to hear it, sir.
Now that's some pretty interesting stuff right there. That video where the Hellfire rocket hits the UAP and bounces right off and doesn't do any damage. It just kind of wiggles around like a blob and then comes back together. That's pretty interesting. I think they showed that video for a reason, a specific reason. And it's to show that these UAPs and UFOs can't be damaged by conventional human technology. And I believe that's because what their narrative is going to be going forward is that these things are hostile, possibly, and that they're here to harm us. And I believe that's part of the 3i Atlas narrative, too, because the first thing they said about that was it was a hostile alien ship headed this way. And so I think it all kind of goes down that line of thinking right now. They want us to either be worried or in fear, or they want us to believe a certain way. And that's truly why I believe they released that specific video. Because they have thousands of videos they could have released, and that one specifically of them shooting at a UFO and it doing nothing to it is definitely for a narrative that they're going to be pushing. The stories in that video are pretty interesting as well. Specifically how they talked about the nuclear facilities and them being tampered with by these UFOs and stuff. I think that's going to go down with the same kind of narrative. It's going to be a situation where everybody's in fear, or everybody's looking one way and things are going to be coming in a different way. Um, we got to be on our toes. We need to know what's happening. These are spiritual things that are happening. They're not real. Satan has been able to do these things for thousands and thousands of years to set up this narrative of aliens coming to save us, or to bring us some sort of harm, or whatever it may be. He's been working on this. He's been able to perfect it. He knows us better than we know ourselves, and his goal is to pull us away from God any way he can. And this is truly one of the big deceptions that is coming, to make us believe that aliens are here to help us, and that they're here to take us into a new enlightenment and higher state of consciousness. Either that, or they're going to try and put fear into us to make us believe that we're under attack. One way or another, it's all about control. They want control of us. They're going to take away our rights and our liberties, and say that it's for the better good, to bring us peace and comfort. Don't fall for it, people. We're going to be in a battle here coming soon, and it's going to be between the higher powers and spiritual beings and us. And we need to be ready for it. We need to be aware of what's happening, and that's why I'm sharing with you now what I'm sharing with you. We'll go ahead and jump into my very first UFO sighting. I'll talk to you a little bit about that. Actually, before I jump into my very first UFO sighting, I want to show you this video I have that I recorded a couple years ago of an orb, a light that was hovering just before, just around dusk, I should say. And it's pretty interesting. I'll let you figure out what it is. So this is the orb I'm talking about, and if you watch it, it starts on the left and then it's slowly moving. It starts on the left and slowly moves to the right a little bit. It kind of dances around just a little bit also. It's pretty interesting. I'm trying to hold the camera as still as I can so that you can see it. But yeah, it was a strange sighting for sure. I'll replay it so you can see. But it starts off more to the left, and then slowly kind of moves to the right, and then it kind of dances around. Show you one more time what it looks like. And you can be the judge of what it is and what it isn't. Interesting, nonetheless. Now, one of the first actual UFOs that I ever saw was a cigar-shaped UFO. I was really young, in school, and we were playing football out in the field, and I looked over and I saw a large cigar-shaped UFO hovering in the distance. And I told my teacher, I said, "Hey, look, there's a UFO." And she didn't believe me. She immediately told me it was a blimp. It, however, did not look like a blimp, and that never sat well with me. I never believed that explanation. I know what I saw. I saw a cigar-shaped UFO. It was skinny. It was too skinny to be a blimp, and it stuck with me ever since. It was really exhilarating, honestly. I did stop what I was doing and just looked at it for a minute, and then eventually, being a kid, I just went back to playing because that's what I was. It was recess time, and that was the only time we had to play, right? So that's what I did. I stopped and went back to it. But just recently, I talked to a friend whose mom lived in the area where I saw this and he said that she saw the same thing or something similar. And so that really kind of verified to me that's what I saw. Um, I always believed that it was a cigar shaped UFO, and I always will believe it. And it really was a memorable moment for me in my life. And after that, um, it was a while before I saw anything significant that really actually stood out to me. I was always looking it up at the sky, up in the stars, and praying basically that I could see a UFO. Never really saw one until I was in high school. I was about 17, 16, 17. Me and my friends were headed camping, and we saw a pretty interesting UFO. Now, I'll tell you the story that was the lead up to the seeing this UFO, and it was one where we were young and dumb. We were looking for alcohol, so we decided to walk around the campground and see if we couldn't get any alcohol from somebody. Um, we didn't find any, so we just continued to walk around. We ended up out on the road, and it was dark and quiet. And I just was staring up at the sky the whole time, walking, looking for UFOs, of course, because that's literally what I did a lot. And it was my favorite activity. And so we're walking around after our strikeout on the beer. We get back to the campsite, and we sit down around the fire, and we're just sitting there talking. I'm literally still looking up at the sky. I really haven't stopped. Um, I'm looking up, and I see a light. It looked like a satellite. It wasn't very big, wasn't very bright. I mean, it was bright, but it was just the size of a normal satellite that you would see flying through the sky, right? And I saw it started hovering over, flying over our heads. We're in a wooded area. We're at a lake, and it's wooded, and it literally in between the trees, just going straight over our heads, which was a clear view of the sky. We had a clear view of the sky right over us, but we were surrounded by trees as well. And I see the one light, and then I see another light coming behind it. And I go, oh, that's cool. Then I see another light, and I notice that it's in the shape of a triangle, and it starts to excite me. And I tell everybody to look up at the sky. There's something above us, and we see what is a completely blacked out triangle UFO with these three small lights on each corner that is completely blocking out the stars as it moves over our heads. And we just start freaking out. We're like going nuts. Like, I think you know, we're so enamored by this thing, we didn't know what to do. Our adrenaline just started pumping. And eventually it went over the trees behind us towards the lake. And as we tried to follow it, we lost track of it because it went over the trees. And by the time we got to the lake, it had disappeared. We don't know if it took off or if it stopped and we couldn't see it, because it was perfectly blended in with the sky. If I wouldn't have been looking up, I would have never seen it. And looking back on it now, though, I know that I pretty much manifested that to happen. I was basically praying to see something, and the odds of it actually flying directly over our heads as I'm looking up there and just seeing this blacked out UFO that looks just like the sky. If I hadn't noticed that, we didn't notice that it was blocking out the stars, like we never would have seen it. And that's not a coincidence that it happened as I'm down there praying to see this UFO. And it shook us to our core. We were so amped up. We're like, we got to tell the newspaper. We got to tell everybody. And funny thing is, we've been telling people our whole lives that it happened, and literally everybody laughs at us. Everybody thinks we're crazy. And yet here we are today, where everybody believes in UFOs and everybody sees what's going on, and nobody's laughing now, really. All right. But yeah, they're like, oh, you're on drugs, where you're drinking, you're doing this, you're doing that. And nobody ever believed us. And we've been telling that story for over 20 years now to people. And what's coming is going to be much bigger than that. But that was a pretty exciting thing to happen. And we were just teenagers out camping in the woods and had this happen. It was wild. And that was the one that set everything in motion, that I was like, man, this is for real. This is not fake. Uh, I just got to tell everybody about it. And my whole life, I've been telling people about UFOs and aliens, and trying to convince people that they're real and that they're coming to save us and take us into enlightenment, to push us into a new age, basically. And I've been telling people that since this day, basically. And it was a wild, wild experience. And my friends, it changed their lives. They would, me and them were all about UFOs after that. And one of my friends in particular, it was two friends that I saw this with, and they were good friends of mine, and they were both just taken back by the whole situation, and it definitely changed our lives. And here's a drawing I did of the UFO back in the day on paint. This is exactly what it looked like, except for the outline. There was no outline lines, but there was nothing in the middle of this as it was flying over our heads. It was absolutely wild. Uh, yeah. And next, I'm going to show you some pictures that I took, that I'm not sure what they are, but they definitely caught my attention. And I'll let you decide what they are or what they're not, because honestly, I'm not sure what it is. But it is definitely a ball of light in this first picture that I have. So this is the first picture I took. Not quite sure what it was. It's definitely zoomed in. It's a ball of light, and I took two back-to-back pictures, and it was not the same shape each time, so that kind of makes me question on what it was. And I'll show you the second picture here. Now here's the second one. If you'll notice, the left side is kind of been morphed. It looks different than the other one. It's not symmetrical as the other one was. And I'll go back to the other one to show you. But if you take a real good look at this one, look at the left side of it, and see how it's not perfectly symmetric. The left side doesn't look like the right side. And in the other picture, the left side does look like the right side. And I'll show you that again real here, just to compare. Now here's the first picture again. You can notice that it's definitely different than the first picture. I mean the second picture, and it's definitely interesting. And that was just a sighting I took a picture of. I'm not sure what it was, so I'm not gonna try to tell you it was a UFO or anything, but it's definitely interesting. Definitely interesting. And here's the second one again, real quick, just to give you another comparison. It's definitely morphing in some way. And then I have another picture here that's a little interesting. It was a long exposure shot, so it's kind of really hard to tell what it was, but it definitely wasn't a plane. It does not look like a plane, so I'm going to show you that one here. Now, since this was a long exposure shot, I don't know, it's about 2 to 3 seconds. It's really hard to tell what it is, but it definitely is interesting. It really makes me wonder if it was a Tic Tac, because if you look at the pictures of the Tic Tac, they have the little fins on top and on the bottom, and that's really what it looks like this has. And it's a small cylindrical shape, and it's really interesting. I truly believe I captured a Tic Tac, but I'm not going to claim it because of the picture. It's blurry, and it's really hard to tell what it is, but it's interesting nonetheless. It could possibly be a Tic Tac. It does not look like a plane whatsoever. Even if it was a long exposure plane, you would be able to tell what it is, and it definitely does not look like a plane. So, and when I say long exposure, I don't really mean that long. It was just a second or two. It was like I pushed the picture button, and for some reason it's like hold still for 2 or 3 seconds, and I held still, but then I moved it a little bit, and then it took the picture. And so this is what I got. And it's pretty interesting in my book, but I won't claim it as a UFO. But I thought I would share that one with you. But I have some more interesting ones here coming up right now. Now, this picture was taken in July of 2023. I took it because it was a cloudless day, and I was out in my backyard, and I saw these weird cloud lines or ripples in the sky, and I thought they were pretty interesting, so I took a picture of it. And in this one, you don't see anything. This one is zoomed in. There's nothing there. All you see is a little bit of the cloud ripples. They're kind of hard to see in the picture, but they're there, right in the middle of the screen. I took several pictures, and I took a video as well. But in one of these pictures, which I'll show you here now, this picture, there's a little black dot right in the middle of the screen here. And I'm going to zoom in for you to show you that it's there. And as I zoom in, it starts to get a little more interesting. You can kind of see a little halo around it, a little clear halo. And to me, it looks like a black square, a black cube almost. And if you know anything about some of these sightings that people have been having, there are sightings of black cubes in clear yellow, white, well, clear spheres. And this really got my attention. I didn't see it at first. I didn't see anything, honestly, until I went back and looked at the pictures and zoomed in. And I, for whatever reason, I zoomed in and saw this object in the picture. And so I zoomed in on some of them, and I changed the contrast. And I'll show you what I did with these pictures. In this one, I played with the color contrast just a little bit to make it pop just a little bit more. I zoomed in on it, and it's definitely something in these ripple clouds right by it. It's pretty far away, but I was able to capture it. And let me show you another picture that I took, or not that I took, but of the same object. Zoomed in more with different color contrast. Now this is as zoomed in as I could get it, and the color contrast is kind of eye-opening. It appears that there's a clear sphere around this object with a little bit darker sphere around the actual object closer to it, and then the object itself is just black. And from so far away, it's really hard to tell what it was, but it's very interesting. I found it very interesting, and it definitely wasn't usual. It was some sort of weird object in the sky, and then I'll give you a black and white version of it here. And here's the black and white version of that picture. Pretty interesting stuff. And I've got, I think, one more that I want to show you, maybe two. Let's see what I got here. And but the next one is videos, and it's pretty interesting what I was able to see in my backyard flying over our house. Actually, I have one more picture other than the videos I forgot about. I don't know how I forgot about it. It was pretty cool. I was at an air show with my family, and we saw the Blue Angels, and I took a picture of them flying in formation right in front of us. And there's something in the picture. Let me show you. Now this picture is of 5 of them flying in formation. Now if you go to the 4th one down from the left, you'll see an anomaly above the tail of the fourth plane. It looks kind of grayish or black. Let me zoom in for you so you can see it a little bit better. It is definitely odd. It's above the number 2 plane, and it's a sphere that has like a, I don't know, you can clearly see that it's a sphere. It's a black sphere with another kind of grayish sphere around the outside of the black sphere, and then it's kind of got a little bit of a wispy, smoky thing coming off of it, kind of like it's trying to blend in or something with the smoke that's putting out by these planes. It's not part of the smoke. You can definitely see that it's a black sphere above number 2 plane here. It's pretty wild. I didn't notice this picture. Nobody saw this firsthand. I only saw this later when I was looking through the pictures, and I was like zooming in and out of stuff to see if I could spot anything. But yeah, I did actually catch this, and it's pretty wild. I can't explain what that is. It's definitely not part of the show, and I'm really wondering if they saw anything, because I mean, it looks like it's right there next to them. It's pretty interesting stuff. Pretty wild. I mean, this pretty much just had me going down. I was telling everybody about UFOs and aliens, man. All these pictures and all these videos and all these experiences that I've had, and it just, I was ready for them to come and take us into an enlightenment and a new, like, way of life. I was waiting for these aliens, and if it wasn't for God just literally grabbing me out of nowhere, showing me that He was there, by just, you should just go check out my testimony if you haven't watched that yet. It tells you everything you need to know about that experience. But yeah, He literally just pulled me right out. I wasn't looking for Him. I was, just living my life. I never believed in God my whole life, and literally all of a sudden one day, He said, "Okay, it's time now," and He gave me experience that I couldn't deny, and I couldn't just brush off, and showed me that He was there. And so that just changed my whole life. It led me to know what these things are. These are deception by Satan. Um, there's going to be a big deception coming that involves all of this, and he's been building it up and building it up and building it up. And the reason why we haven't been this hasn't been disclosed yet by anybody really that matters is because it's not time yet, but the time is coming soon. And that's the reason why I'm putting this video out now, to warn everybody that these things are not here to help us. These things are not here to put us into a greater enlightenment. They are here to deceive us into believing that there is no God, that these aliens are basically gods, and that we should be following them and helping in them helping us. So we should not be listening to that, and we should not go down that narrative, because it's false. There's only one Creator and one God, and His name is God and Jesus. And we need to have our blinders on when this stuff starts to happen, even though it's going to be amazing. It's going to be, but I still have a hard time wrapping my head around the fact that I don't believe in this stuff anymore, quite frankly. But I know it to be a fact that it's not real. Otherwise, I would be still deceived by all this. I just got to thank God for that, because without Him, I did not stand a chance. Now, let me show you a video that I have of some orbs flying over my house. Now, this is the still shot of the very first part of the video. I was only able to get about, I don't know, 2-3 seconds of both of these in my camera, because for some reason my camera basically went black after the first couple seconds of filming these, and I wasn't able to capture them. But I was able to get back online and film the one that's in the back here on the left hand side, the right hand side, the bottom right. And as the one in the upper left took off towards town, which is in the direction it's headed, this other one behind it slowed down basically, and I was able to capture it as it was lagging behind and moving through the sky. But I only get a couple seconds here. I'll show you the couple seconds, and I'll replay it again so that you can see it a second time. But after that, I'll show you the video of just the one that I was able to zoom in a little bit more on and just capture it until it literally it started flashing at the very end of the video that I captured, and it just flashed a white light. It was flashing white light, almost like a fake aviation light. There were no green or red lights. It was just like a white light that was flashing, and it was very interesting and very weird. Let me go ahead and show you guys this video right now. Now, here we go. It's only a couple seconds, and then my camera, for whatever reason, just goes black, just straight up black. I thought that was very interesting on how it did that. But yeah, and to the naked eye, these things were orange. To the camera, it looks kind of whitish, but to the naked eye, they were orange. And very interesting. And I'll show you the video of the one I captured by itself after the other one had disappeared and took off. Here, just a second. Okay, so here's the one that I was able to catch all by itself, the one that was lagging behind after the other one had disappeared. This one I got a little bit longer, and I was able to zoom in on it, and you'll be able to see it pretty well. So I'll go ahead and show you that. It's about a minute long, and it's kind of interesting. You don't really see an outline of anything. It's just a ball of light. There's nothing there but light. Just an orb of light flying over my house. 2 of them, to be exact. I wish I would have been able to film both of them for much longer, but I wasn't. Yeah. And then at the very end, you'll see it start flashing here. Yeah. But again, to the naked eye, that was not aviation lights. Those were white lights flashing. And I know some people are going to be like, yeah, that was just a plane. But it's flying over a city. It would have the green and red and those lights on, and you do not see any of that. And it's just a ball. It's just a ball of light. And as I zoom in, you would see an outline of a plane. I have pictures of planes that you can definitely see the wings. You see the green and red lights. You can totally tell they're planes. This, none of that. But then it tries to mimic a plane at the end, which I thought was very strange. And there you have it. Pretty interesting stuff. I hope you enjoyed those. Now I'm going to give you the Bible text that tells us what is coming and what we need to be prepared for, because this is what to talk about in the Bible. And we have been warned that things will be coming from the sky and from the heavens to deceive us. And I'll show you here right now. And I'm going to start with Revelation 13, 13, and 14. And it tells us what's coming. And Satan, we're talking about Satan here. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast which had the wound and sword and did live. So he's going to send fire down from heaven to deceive us all. And they're talking about the mark of the beast, and the beast, the Antichrist, but he's controlled by Satan. So as we're being deceived by all this, we will make an image to the beast and worship him, because we will be in fear. Let me give you some more text. 2 Thessalonians 2, 9, and 10 also tell us what's coming. And it says, even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders. And we're talking about wonders here. All sorts of wonders, miracles, wonders, stuff coming from the sky and the heavens to deceive us. And in 2:10 says, and with all deceivableness and unrighteousness in them that perish, because they receive not the love of the truth, but they might be saved. That they might be saved. So that's why I'm here. That's why many people out there are trying to tell you that this is going to be fake and we cannot be deceived by the working of Satan, because he has all the power to do this kinds of stuff, to make us think we're seeing things, and he can bring lying wonders upon us and signs, as 2:9 says. So we should not be deceived by things that we see in the sky just because we don't understand it. It is the work of Satan, and he is trying to deceive us away from God. And we should be very vigilant of these things. And Matthew 24:24 also says, for there shall arise false Christs and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. So great signs and great wonders are coming our way with false Christs and false prophets to deceive us, and it's gonna be intense. It's gonna be very, very scary what's coming. We won't even be able to comprehend it until it gets here, quite frankly. But we can know that it's coming and be prepared for it, and know that it's not what it seems to be. God is coming one time. He's going to be in the clouds when he comes. He will not set foot on earth, as the Bible says. And anything else other than that, with the angels and him coming and in the clouds to raise us up with him to take us home, we should not be enamored by or dumbfounded by it, because it's not him, and it's all Satan. And so we need to know this and be prepared for what's coming, so that we're not deceived and taken down the wrong path. And I got one more text for you. It's Luke 21:11. And great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, and famines and pestilence and fearful sights, and great signs shall there be from heaven. So not from God, but from Satan. So we have to be ready for that. As it says here, it says Jesus foretells wars and persecution. Yes, that's what he's telling us of. The great things are coming. And then in 25 and 26, it also says, and there shall be signs in the sun, and in the moon, and in the stars, and upon the earth distress of nations, with perplexity the sea and the waves roaring, men's hearts failing them for fear and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken. That's when the Lord will be coming, and we need to be ready for that. But other than that, everything else is not. So do not be fooled by what's coming. And that's what I'm here to share with you now. The truth that I've been given by the Lord our God to share with you and to bring it to the world if I can, to everybody who will listen. I don't care if I only reach one person. That's more. That's plenty for me, but I'm hoping I reach more. The Lord has sent me knowledge and truth to spread, and that's what I'll continue to do until He comes. So I thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Go ahead and give me that like and subscription so we can continue to spread this message to as many as we can. I love you. The Lord loves you, and I thank you. Have a great one, and until next time, take it easy.